What's good, family? Back with another video. Now today, I'm gonna be reacting to why blacks have so much today and are still poor. Why blacks have so much today and we still poor, man. Oh my God, this guy Thomas Sowell. What I do his reactions. Y'all like him, I give them to y'all. You know what I mean? Or y'all hate him. You know what I'm saying? You still react to him. So, you know, it is what it is. You know, like I be honest, man. I keep it 100. I think this guy is. I think this guy is I think he's very intelligent. I just don't agree with everything he say. Just don't agree with everything he say, and that's all, man. It's okay. I don't have to agree with everything he say. But y'all know what to do. Subscribe, turn on the post notifications, and remember, over here, we open up the mind. We give the opposite side of opinion to videos, and we speak what we feel. Like, we don't care about nothing else. We speak exactly how we feel. So, you like that? Subscribe. And if not, whoop. Alright, let's go.
This is all very disconcerting, Tom. Cosmic justice, intellectuals and race, quote, no individual or group can be blamed for being born into circumstances that lack advantages. But neither can society be automatically assumed to be either the cause or the cure for such disparities. Yeah. Close quote.
So then what's to blame for why people are the way they are? Well, let's hear what he's got to say.
So what you're arguing is that this...
You even are like, what the heck? Let me try to think through this argument. The argument don't make no fucking sense. Let's keep going.
Despite centuries of, several centuries of slavery, I'm talking now about the African-American experience in this country. Slavery ends, you've got decades of Jim Crow. You've got policies that have created substandard conditions in one inner city in America after another to this day. Despite all of that, for the African-American child born in inner city Detroit tomorrow, it just is what it is. It's nobody's fault that child is likely to have worse life expectations than the white kid born tomorrow in Greenwich, Connecticut.
Yeah, you hear that question? That's a really good question, right? And that's a really good question. That's a really good way he framed it. I love the way he framed it. I want to see how Thomas Sowell answers this question. Because to say that society is not to blame for why people turn out the way they are, like, listen to the contradiction within how they view the black community, right? So it's black people's fault for everything that's happened to them is what they try to say, right? They try to say, like, quit being victims, blah, 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 blah. So it's black people's fault for everything that happened to them. Or they just say, quit being victims. So, like, stop looking at the faults that make it a lot more complicated for you in society to build what you need to build, right? Stop looking at those faults. Or they never happened. Those faults never happened. Yeah, it's just funny. I want to see what he's going to say. Like, I really do want to see what he's going to say. But I do think there are white people that have it just as hard as black people, too. Let me make that point in there. Like, I think there are poor white people that have it. No, I don't think just as hard, but I do think they have it hard. I do think there are white people out there that have it hard. I do. I think both. But I do think black people got a boot on their neck that we got to talk about. And I ain't about to coon for Thomas Sowell. Just being 100, I'm not about to do that.
That's true. You can't, the ease with which people draw connections between one thing and another is just amazing. I mean, it's like I mean, the average of black kid today, I think, is probably better off, certainly materially, than, say, Ben Carson was when he was growing up.
Ben Carson, the famous black surgeon at Johns Hopkins.
Right.
Man, everybody ain't Ben Carson. Oh, I hate when they do that, man. That's like saying why all white people ain't like Elon Musk. Why all y'all ain't as smart as Elon Musk? Why all y'all ain't billionaires like Donald Trump? Every black person ain't Ben Carson, man. Everybody ain't Ben Carson, man. Some black people grow up in environments and they can't escape those things. Oh, dude, bro. This stuff triggers me, bro. I ain't gonna lie, dude. It's sad to see black people act like this. But dance, boy. I'm just playing. I'm playing. I like Thomas Sowell. I'm messing with y'all.
Right.
He was immensely accomplished in every way.
Yes.
Right.
I would say that black kids who are growing up today have a higher material standard of living than I had. The difference was that the schools were good when I came along. They were especially good in New York at that time, hard as that is to believe. But the kids who grew up in that same place where I lived, they will not get that same education. Now that can be blamed on somebody, but it has very little to do with what happened 100 or 200 years ago. And it's true in other countries. I mean, in Nigeria, for example, there's a tribe, the Igbos, who are living in one of the least fertile parts of Nigeria, who were in fact enslaved in centuries past by other tribes and so on. When the British moved in and set up schools, the Igbos went for the schools. By the time Nigeria became independent, the Igbos had climbed above the other groups that had been ahead of them to begin with. But there are all kinds of cross currents of factors. The particular culture, or the particular geography. You run through the whole list of them.
You say.
He's right. He is right. When the British came in, they created schools. The Igbos did go over there, and he's right. He is right about that. So what are you implying? Like I'm trying to figure out what he's implying. Is he implying that black people should go over to white people's areas and do schools like that? And my question is, what would happen then? Would there not be white flight? Yeah, white flight is when enough black people move in, they all move out, right? So white flight would happen. Most of the money that's in the community, because most money accumulates around white people. They have more. They've had more of a head start than we have. So of course they're gonna have more in their communities. But they take their money with them. The community becomes terrible. Like it's just how it happens. But that's not necessarily always how it happens. There are some communities. There are black millionaire communities. It's changing. That whole idea of that is changing. So I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, I'm back and forth on that.
In Intellectuals and Race, you cite an observation by the intelligence expert, IQ scientist James Flynn, that just stopped me cold. After the Second World War, you've got large numbers of American troops remaining in Germany. For that matter, there's still several tens of thousands there today. And both black and white American soldiers had children with German women. Mm-hmm. And Flynn discovered that those children growing up in Germany showed no IQ differences at all. The black kids and the white kids, the same. Quoting Intellectuals and Race, Professor Flynn concluded that the reason was that the offspring of black soldiers in Germany, and now you're quoting Professor Flynn, grew up in a nation with no black subculture, close quote. Which means what? Which means they experienced exactly the same expectations. Is this
No, the expectations are external. The culture in which they grew up was not the culture in which black kids grew up in America today.
So there's
no gangster rap that was pervasively available in Germany.
So
gangster rap exists. It exists because the community is messed up. The community created gangster rap. You're blaming the music for why things are the way they are. But what created the music? These guys are talking in their music about their environments. Who's creating the environment for them? Who threw crack into our communities? Who redlined the communities? Who assassinated the majority of the leaders in our communities, from Fred Hampton, Malcolm X, to Martin Luther King? Who did it? You can say Malcolm X might have been black, but there's evidence that the CIA had a role in that too. Who sent Marcus Garvey back out of here when he was building the nation? Who drove W.E.B. Du Bois crazy enough to the point where he left and went back to Africa? Not back, but he went to Africa. He couldn't take it anymore. He finished out the rest of his life. I think it was Ghana. He couldn't take it anymore. Who's that boot on the neck that's caused that? Who passed the mass incarceration bill? White people. I'm just playing. Who passed the mass incarceration bill? Locked up many of these black people and created fatherless homes. What they say on the other side, the fatherless home is a big problem in the black community. How was that created? It wasn't just men walking out of their families. As a matter of fact, when you look at the statistics, black fathers are more likely to be around in their families than white fathers are. Research that. This is no disrespect to white people at all. I'm just saying, who created that? I don't like that he just tried to blame it on gangster rap. I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like that because gangster rap was not what caused that. Gangster rap was a product of the environment. Gangster rap was created off of the product of the environment that they are already in. They are already there in the slums. This dude, cooned in. Boy.
So here's what I'm getting. There is something about black subculture in America today that holds African Americans themselves back.
Yes. In fact, I went into this in a previous book on which about black rednecks and white liberals.
Mm-hmm. I read that book.
Let's talk about two of your books here. Go ahead.
Because that very same subculture held whites in the South back as well. That in the time, this mental testing in the First World War turned up, among other things, the fact that whites from various 4 or 5 southern states scored lower on the mental test than blacks from 4 or 5 northern states. And so it really was a question of the subculture that was there, which was a handicap to both.
Mm.
All right. And so, whose job is it to say, wrong subculture, folks, you're harming yourselves?
Well, I would think in an ideal world, intellectuals might take on that task. But the world we live in, I've noticed, is not ideal.
All right.
Oh my God, man. Even for the white people, man. I'm talking for the white people too. Your culture is created off poverty. The rich made it. The people who hoard the wealth at the top. And there's nothing you can do about it. Oh, hold on, my bad. No fuck. Hoard the wealth at the top and there's nothing you can do about it. They are the reason why it's the way it is. But you got triggered by that reaction. Comment down below.